Mr. Herger.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And Mr. Secretary, I want to join in thanking you and commending you for being part of the administration, for bringing your expertise and the manner in which you are dealing with these incredibly important issues. An issue that I've been involved with as Chairman of the Human Resources Subcommittee that I know you're very much familiar with has to do with welfare reform. And my question has to do with an area that I believe we've had some of the greatest success ever. With the welfare reform in 1996, we've seen welfare rolls, where we've seen those who were on welfare, families, being able to go out and find work, be able to be trained for work, being able to be prepared, and to be able to return to the workforce. And we've seen those that are on poverty, the poverty levels drop dramatically because of that. So my question has to do with that, a follow-up to that on what the administration is doing now. We have the Deficit Reduction Act the President will be signing later today, includes provisions to promote even more work and assist even more to be able to work among welfare recipients. This law will expect all states to engage 50%, just half, of those that are welfare recipients today in work or training starting next year. Some say that's too tough, but I disagree, and I'd hope we could encourage even more to be out engaged in either work or being trained on being able to get jobs. Could you, Mr. Secretary, talk a little about the efforts your department has started that would better uncover the work that is already going on but not reported, which would help states meet this goal of 50%? Specifically, can you talk about using the National Directory of New Hires and what results you've seen thus far from these efforts?
Congressman, to give you specifics, I'll need to submit them to you and for the record. I will, however, reflect a little on this subject from my days as governor. I was quite deeply involved as governor and also as chairman of the National Governors Association in the development of the original welfare reform and the instigation of TANF. And I can tell you that the work requirements have been a very important part of the progress we have made. Not only the progress institutionally and as a government, but into the individual lives of people. We've given people a sense of motivation that has been critical to their own sense of self. Now, I want to be clear that there's not a governor or a secretary that I know that isn't anxious to assure that the lives of those who are truly in need, that their needs are met. But helping them establish a sense of purpose and having the training that is necessary changes lives in very personal and deep ways. And I've seen it personally, and I'm proud to be part of it. And it's time for us as a society to raise our expectations one more notch.
Thank you, and I agree completely. In another area, the Deficit Reduction Act proposes $150 million per year in new funding for healthy marriage and responsible fatherhood services. As we know, it is, as a parent, I'm a parent, those listening are, most of us, it's difficult enough to raise children with two parents working, let alone as we see so many families with just one. Your budget suggests $250 million per year for these purposes. Since the President is just now signing the Deficit Reduction Act, which overlaps with the release of the budget this week, I wanted to be clear that you are still proposing an additional $100 million per year in funding for these programs on top of what is provided for in the welfare reform provision of the Deficit Reduction Act. Beyond just the level of funding, could you discuss what the department hopes to accomplish with these funds?
Congressman, in the early testimony I made, I indicated one of the principles I believe in, principles of investment, is that you invest in prevention, not just treatment. Most of the funds we spend in our department are focused on treatment. We're picking up the pieces after something's gone wrong. The money that's being proposed to strengthen healthy marriages is about prevention, and it's about helping prevent the devastation that often comes when families, the unit of our society that ultimately we have to depend on for the vast majority of care that occurs, to strengthen them and to strengthen the prevention of bad things happening.
Thank you very much, Secretary Leavitt.